Michael DeSilvis from New Hunter Church of Christ. Happy Memorial Day to all of us here, to you. And I hope you're having a wonderful festive celebration today, thinking about all the soldiers who died in line of duty and combat just so that you and I can enjoy the freedoms that we have that a lot of people take for granted. And another thing that really is disturbing to me is all these police that are getting shot in America. You know, we had 8 people get shot 2 nights ago in Georgia and Mississippi, and even a few people, state police, got shot here in Virginia in the Mosby Court area. They found a suspect, however, about 75 miles north of Richmond. So that was good. But the thing is, we need to stop this craziness. You know, we have to look out for each other when it all comes down to it, because we're all people and we all need each other. And then once we start to realize that, and we come back to God, that's what's missing. So on this Memorial Day, think about what you could do for you and for your country and for the betterment of all humanity. Instead of trying to find ways on how to divide or how to cause a war or cause a fight with your community or neighbor or with your law enforcement or with whoever. And start thinking about peaceful things. And start thinking about, how to organize peaceful protests and organize peaceful events that will help bring unity to all people of the government that are doing the right thing, and even civilians can all work together. And that's the way we should all be operating under. Instead of hearing all these shootings, because all that's doing is just going to escalate. I'm going to tell you, it's just going to escalate more violence if people beget more violence like the Bible does dictate. It's, Revelation. I was talking about a guy who gave $80 today to me, and I really appreciate that. I want to thank him on the air. And he's really, really nice brother in the Lord, and he's a wonderful Christian, and I hope that more of y'all will do the same. And see, because he recognizes the work that I do, he gave me a lot of encouragement, because a lot of times I felt like I wasn't really getting any encouragement, to say the least, because no donations were coming in. And it's like, I get all these thumbs up and comments and all, but that don't pay the bills, guys. And I'm talking about the church bills. I'm not talking about my own personal bills. I'm talking about the church bills. It's just like, there is a letter that I put out, online on Facebook, saying the stuff that I would like to get with $1,000 that's raised to go towards, so the $80 is going towards that $1,000 when it's raised. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy some stuff for the church here, like new computer equipment, new lighting, stuff I mentioned in there. I don't have the stuff yet, but I would like to get it, so I'm waiting for the donation so I can do it. Just like most churches, they tell you what they need and tell you exactly what they're going to do with the money, and that's exactly what I'm telling you. But, I haven't bought any of this stuff yet. I'm waiting for the donations to come in. My mom thought, because she's always thinking I'm buying stuff, she thought I already bought the stuff. And I said, no, I haven't bought the stuff. I'm waiting for the money to come in so I can buy the stuff, because it's so desperately needed. Like, we need a new storage NAS here to hold more music and more, PowerPoint presentations on site. And I even have Kryptonite, too. Off-site storage as well. But the thing is, I like to store it here too as well, so I can have quick access to it just in case the internet goes down. So, so we have it stored in both places. But the thing is, all that stuff costs money, and the thing is, we can't do this stuff unless you do help us with donations, because we have to have a lot of stuff, because we have an online church of over 100 some people. There's 56 people actually that do follow us and like us on New Hunter Church of Christ website on Facebook. So, that's great. But if you all gave, every one of you that gave, like that guy gave $80 today, if everyone gave whatever they could give, we would probably meet more than that $1,000 goal. And it's not hard to do. Now, of course, you're going to see the MDA. Now, when people ask, just like I asked I asked this nice young gentleman, brother in the Lord, is he given to the Muscular Dystrophy Association, or is he given to the church? And he said the church. And I said, that's what I'll ask everybody who calls in. If you want to give by credit card, or if you want to mail it by snail mail, the address here is New Hunter Church of Christ, just like it says. And then it's 7110 New Hunter Road, apartment 423, Mechanicsville, Virginia 23111. You can give it that way, and just put a little nice thank you letter in there. Let me know how you think I'm doing. Let me know where you would like me to do some improvements on. But, the only way I know how I'm doing is if I get donations from you, because that's the only way I know if I'm really doing a good job or not. I get a lot of thumbs up, and that's great, but that don't pay the bills, like I said earlier. Like that guy, he gave $80, maybe more, maybe somebody could top that and give $100, or maybe somebody could give 40, whatever you can give so we can reach that $1,000 goal. That would be great because we really need to reach it so we can get a new office chair and things like that, like what we mentioned in there. I haven't got the stuff yet until I get the money from you all, and this is money that's been long overdue. And I want to thank all those that do give, including that nice gentleman and brother in the Lord who gave $80 today on Memorial Day. And I hope you all are having a safe Memorial Day. Hope you all have a peaceful Memorial Day. I hope you all thinking about doing good and peaceful things and organizing some events and church activities in your church congregational bodies and in your home churches. I hope that you are really working on doing something great that's magnificent that will impact the Lord and bring people as a community being together again and not being divisive or being divided by spreading rumors around the community or lies or embellishing things to say that, well, if I got something, if somebody gave me this, then they must have gave it to everybody and just blow it all out of proportion when that may not be the case. Maybe just because you had a real dirty, filthy apartment, maybe you got what you got because you just didn't clean your apartment. Because you can get bugs and things without cleaning your apartment too. They can come in there because that's why they come in. If you got a real dirty place, they will come in there if you don't change your bed and stuff. And so that may be how you got those things in your apartment. I don't think it had anything to do with me. Of course, she said it was me, but I never went. She said it was me, but I didn't go in there. So they're saying she's saying I brought bugs in her apartment. I said I didn't go in there. It's like I didn't go in Kathy's apartment, and her sister is saying it's just a bunch of ridiculous stuff around here going on. It's stupid. And Kathy knows that I didn't give her the bugs. And it's just like the other Kathy should know that too. She went around spreading it all around the apartment complex, telling them that I gave her bugs when yet she's got a real filthy apartment. So, it was filthy. And I said something about her, when's the last time you vacuumed? Because I was in there looking, and it was really filthy and dirty. I mean, it was like a film of dirt all over the carpet and all over everything. I mean, the table was neat and the counters in the kitchen were neat, but the carpeting was really dirty in her room and in her in her bedroom and in her living room area. It was really dirty just looking in the door. I didn't go all the way in there looking all around, but it had a film of dust everywhere. Like she hadn't vacuumed for probably 6 months or so. And, this lady's on oxygen and everything, and, it's probably good if she would vacuum her apartment because then she wouldn't probably have to use the oxygen as much because when you got all that dirt in there moving around, when you're moving around, it makes it harder for you to breathe. If you're having an air problem like OCP or something, it's going to cause a lot of problems. And it's going to add to it because the dust that's in the air by you moving things around, it's just moving in the air. So, a lot of people want to blame people for other things. The controlling people are always like that. They always like to blame other people for their downs or what they do, instead of realizing and admitting that they may have had responsibility of what happened to them. And some people like to hallucinate and embellish and things, and some people do that, and it's unfortunate. But hey, that's just part of getting old. Some people do that, so we just got to pray for these people and hope that they can realize to tell the truth instead of trying to blame it on everybody else. Instead of people need to learn to take responsibility for their actions and not try to always blame it on someone else, like a lot of people always try to do or try to invent. So, so that's what I'm trying to say, and, do something good, have a nice Memorial Day, drink some of the root beer suds, not the beer, stay away from the alcohol, drink a lot of water today, it's hot, go out there, enjoy yourself on the water and the beaches, because it might be cold when you come out, because it's kind of not as cold, not very warm around here today. You'd probably freeze your gonads off because there's low humidity. But it's going to get warmer later on this week, I do believe. And, so be careful out there. Have a good time, be safe, and think about doing things that are peaceful. And when you go to college, instead of going to all those dysfunctional classes where you have to go in like a quiet zone or go into a room because you had a bad day so you can have a, binky and be able to color paint and all that like you're a little kid, you shouldn't have to be like that when you're in school, because when you're an adult and you're, in your higher education, you shouldn't be, doing things like that. If a lot of parents found out that you were in there coloring every time you had a temper tantrum, or every time something didn't go your way because you didn't get a good grade on your report card or, on your paper, and you had to go in there because you're having a horrible time, then they probably would yank you out of school. Because I know I would yank my kids out of school because that's not higher education. People, when you go to school, I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say it to you right, and I'm going to say it to you truthfully. You should be above that type of mentality and that type of stature. You should be above that maturity level. You should be able to handle your conflicts without having to resort to screaming and fits and rage like a lot of colleges that kids are doing. You're not a little kid. You're not 5 years old. You are an adult, so you need to act more accordingly. When you were a little kid, that was fine. But when you're an adult, there's a lot of kids that are doing the same thing when they're 20-some years old, like a 4 or 5-year-old. And that's not fine. That shows that you're going backwards instead of forward in maturity and development. And that's what we're seeing a lot being taught in society. In our public schools, they even are doing these things. And it's really disturbing. And it's not because it's newfound education. No, what it's doing is just dumbing down people further, so it just makes them so, well, they can just go out and do whatever they want, have a temper tantrum and act like a little kid if they choose to. We'll just give them crowns and Play-Doh to play with. They're like an adult and then they act like a toddler. And, when you're a toddler, that's fine. But when you're an adult, you should be more under control and not resort to those tactics. This is Michael DeSilvis. I hope everybody has a nice day, and I hope we can learn how to be adults and learn to be rational and not, be screaming and acting like little kids and trying to find ways to divide people against groups and religions and so forth. And let's try to come together and be more unified as Americans. Take care. This is Michael DeSilvis. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. God bless.